I'm Cass.
I'm Rachel, and you're listening to the Appliance Girls. But I think I'm really excited to, get women on the podcast.
I mean, we love men too.
If you had a superpower, any
Oh,
superpower,
Not this one.
any superpower, what would it be?
If you don't believe in what you're selling or you don't believe in the business, you're not going to be able to sell it.
I thought you were talking about something else.
All right. Welcome, Laura and Rach.
Welcome.
Another episode of The Appliance Girls.
Yes, and today's a very exciting one. We're overseas.
Yep.
We're in the Philippines working with our team, but we've got a really great opportunity today to spend some time with Laura from Emapta. So welcome.
Hello, ladies. Thank you very much for having me on today. It's a real pleasure to see you again.
Yeah. When we were coming to the Philippines, we said, look, we should do a podcast while we're over there. It's great to always do one remotely.
Yep.
But then we thought, what's kind of something that we can offer people back at home that's going to be beneficial and useful for them.
Yeah.
And outsourcing is such a big thing these days, and there's a lot of misconceptions I feel about it. So having you on, Laura, I feel is going to offer a lot of insights into where to start when you're offshoring and what it is really.
Yeah. And I know we've spoken to a lot of people that own their own business, and they've asked us a lot of questions about offshoring, and I know people have started that journey, but they're still a bit unsure of where that's to go and where that's leading to. So I think we've got lots to learn. And it's good to have you on.
Thank you very much. A lot of opportunities.
So let's start from the beginning because you're obviously not of Filipino background, but you live here in the Philippines. So tell us about your journey of how you got here.
Well, how I actually ended up here in the Philippines was love, actually.
Oh,
so
there
I started traveling in my 20s. I did about 8 years on a cruise ship, which is where I met my partner. And then he's a Filipino, hence the relocation here to the Philippines. It was supposed to be a year or two, dip my toes in, enjoy a little bit of a new culture. 20 years down the line, I'm still here.
Wow.
And 2 kids later as well. So I don't see myself going back anytime soon back to the UK.
Yep.
I love my life here. I enjoy the experiences. I've been with Emapta now for nearly 8 years as well.
Yes.
But I do like to have a little bit of home and pop back to the UK at least once a year.
Yeah.
Bit of a reality check.
For sure. Very different to here as well.
Indeed.
It's so courageous, I feel, when people move for love. It's like you go into a country that you've never lived in before, and it's like quite daunting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big move.
Yeah.
It is. There was a few stumbling blocks along the way, but I would say after 20 years, and we worked together on the ships as well for 8 years, so we very much knew each other inside and out around the ship. So once you've worked in that close confines for so long together, moving to a land base wasn't such a big of a jump.
Yeah. And I guess in terms of your career here, where did you start looking for a job? Like, did you just come here and hang out for a bit, or was it more like get straight into business and find a job here?
I will be very honest and say when I arrived here, I just did nothing for about 3 to 4 years. I really enjoyed the opportunity to sort of relax, enjoy the experience, get immersed in the culture. I actually lived more in the provincial area at the time. I didn't live within the city in itself. My partner was working full-time Monday to Friday, so Monday to Friday it was kind of like plotting things, doing bits and pieces at home. And that's pretty much it. And my first role here was actually in relocation. I was helping expats settle here in the Philippines. After about 4 years of being here, I decided that I got a bit of an itchy feet, and as much as I love the life and doing nothing, it was a case of I wanted to really get a career now as well, and to sort of build on that aspect of my life. And I adore my children so much, would move heaven and earth for them, but having the conversations with them as well, I wanted more of an adult interaction, which is why I came back to work again full time.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously now you work for Emapta. Can you explain to anyone out there, how do you explain what Emapta is to someone that would ask you?
Gosh, that is such an awesome question. So Emapta in itself, when I first joined, just as an overview, they had about 300 overall. That's including clients, staff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now we're tipping it at 900 clients.
Yep.
We have the top 1% of growth and talent that we source for in our different entities and locations. Philippines is by far one of our strongest sort of bases that we have as well across the globe. We have dedicated staffing model. So it's very different to the offshoring that people might imagine it. When they think of sometimes offshoring, they think of maybe little cubicles,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
sitting on a call center,
Yeah.
which if you have the experience to come to the Philippines and visit our office, it's completely different from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It is very much professional. It's a whole new setup as well in terms of transparency.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that Emapta offers as well, is that when it comes to the pricing models and what we offer to the clients, you will see exactly where every dollar is going as well towards
Yeah.
the work and service. And we pride ourselves as well. It's not just working and building up the bonds for the team, but also building on the engagement as well to keep down that attrition levels.
Yep.
And I think you're right. I think people have that misconception back at home that outsourcing, when you outsource to the Philippines or to Bangladesh or to wherever you go, it's just this giant room.
Yeah.
And your staff are sitting there amongst 500 people on the phone to customers. And it is that misconception. And we only just came here for the first time last year. But for us, it was like, oh, wow. It's so different to what we imagined it to be. We have our own office, you know, our team are all together. They're not mixed amongst a million people in one room. And it's a lot more set up and a lot more professional than what we probably thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So it's good to come here, like you said, to see kind of what it is. Otherwise, you don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the difference is, as well, as one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that it's your dedicated staffing. So it's your team, your way.
Yeah.
So whereas some of the other BPOs may lean towards, okay, we'll do this job for you, but you don't know who you're working with on the ground in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Here you get to work with your team day in, day out. And, you know, they become part of the team and the business as a whole as well, which is something that we really want and, you know, endorse with all of our clients that we work with.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sets you apart from some of the other outsourcing companies, is that our team is our team. Like, they're our staff members and they're part of the appliance guys, rather than an Emapta employee working for us sometimes and not working for us other times.
Yeah.
So I think that's super important to know that, like you said, you can go to them and they know your business, they feel part of the business. And that's why we liked Emapta over some of the other outsourcing companies.
Yeah, and we see it ourselves, that we know that our team feels like they're part of us and we feel like they're part of us as well. And when we've come here, you know, it just feels like we're back home, but, you know, in a different location. So, and that's a dedication, a testament to Emapta and how they're running the business as well. And that's obviously a reason why we've continued to go with you guys to help us with that. Because obviously it's hard for us when you're offshoring, because you're not physically there. So having that support system, which is obviously what you guys have created, is a winning model.
Yeah. And I guess your past role was that customer experience manager. We were just discussing that you had a role change. So what role do you hold now, and how does that add to the business?
So I'm now the senior delivery manager. There's been a bit of a restructure over the last few months as well within the team. So my particular role, I oversee enterprise clients, a very select few enterprise clients. I work with them on the very high level end with their business leaders, and then I have a team of 3 CXMs that work under me with the talent on the ground, meeting the day-to-day needs. But I focus more on making sure that across all the different levels, everything is being met, the needs, the growth expectations, also about the training, the recruitment, payroll. Every little nuance of the outsourcing aspect is literally, I wouldn't say it's micromanaged by me, but it's overseen by me to ensure that everything is a sort of smooth process across the way. Because when we're talking about enterprise as well, it's usually a minimum of 50 clients, 50 talents.
Yeah.
So it's quite big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I feel like some of the companies over here can grow to a really big size. Like, there was one office that you took us to, I think, last time, and it was just a whole floor of desks, and we were like, maybe one day this is what we'll get to. Right now we're in a smaller office, but one day we'll be here.
But I mean, we've seen the growth in terms of, we started with only a couple of staff members, and then, you know, gradually we've grown and moved from one office to another because we've outgrown it, and now we're in a great space because our team's, you know, expanding. We're almost at 30 members over here. So you can see how that support is allowing companies to grow. And we've obviously seen the benefit of outsourcing. How does someone who's a business who doesn't know anything about outsourcing, what would be some of the things that you would recommend to them, or how would you sell it to them, basically? What are the benefits?
The benefits, well, cost effectiveness is definitely one of them. It's one of those pointers, because you can save up to over a third of the basic salary rates for the team members here. within the Philippines in itself, the level of English proficiency is incredibly high. I mean, even for the most basic roles here in the Philippines, you've got to have college and university graduates. So you've got very well educated and professional individuals come in as part of your team. And they have a very high respect for leadership here in the Philippines and a strong cultural family aspect. The loyalty that I know and have seen and witnessed here in the Philippines, which is one of the reasons why I think I've stuck around here for so long, is that once you've hit the right notes with your team, you've literally got them for life. We have clients, so we've been around for nearly 15 years now, and we have client staff that have been with us for 12, 13 years with the same client. So, and it's not the case that the client staff are or can jump around as well to the other clients. They are very much dedicated to the teams that they're hired for. And like I said, once you've got that sort of magic button and you're working on the engagement, there's very little attrition that you're working with the teams.
I think I just did a testimonial for Emapta before this, and one of the questions was why we started looking at outsourcing and what were some of the pain points, and it was literally that, like, the culture between Australia and the Philippines is very different, and the staff here, we just find that they show up, like they want to work and they need to work, really. Like I said, they have that big family value where they want to provide for their families, and if you're offering them a role and you're taking care of them, they're going to take care of you as well. And I think we found it very hard at home to be able to retain staff because they move on to just different things. They want to bounce around. But having our team here, they're all very willing to stay on, and they believe in the business just as much as we do, really. So it's very different cultures, and I think that's what's helps
very
them stick
passionate,
around.
Sort of above and beyond in most cases as well. It's not about watching the bottom line or the clock ticking by and things like that. Team members here really want the businesses and the clients to succeed as much, because it's to everyone's benefit at the end of the day as well.
And it's here when they get excited for the wins that, you know, if we announce something that we've either won a project or whatever it might be, seeing their joy and their, you know, they feel part of it.
They all share it on their Facebook and their Instagram. And it's like, even though we're not over, like, we don't service over here, but they're still promoting us to their community. And it makes us really happy because they feel like they're part of that. And they are part of that because we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for our team over here and our team in Sydney. And I think that makes them feel some bit of, you know, what's the
connectivity.
word? Connectivity and some bit of, you know, appreciation for everything and that they've succeeded as well because they've gotten us to where we are as well.
Absolutely.
That's definitely one of the things that I highly endorse the most as well. I mean, working with you guys especially, seeing how you handle and work with your team as well, you are, I would say, the ideal examples of what I would want and expect all clients to sort of follow. When you do consider the team and you treat them as part of the team and the business as well, it just really makes a difference. And the fact that you come here so often as well to the Philippines, which is another factor as well. The team feel valued, so they stick around much longer.
So on that point, is that something, do a lot of your clients come and visit their team members here, or is it not as often? Is it part of their practice?
During COVID, it was obviously the Philippines shut down for about a year and a half, so it was very quiet here overall. But as soon as everything started opening up, we have clients visiting monthly, every week. There's always clients in and out of the office. It will pick up around the September season onwards due to the fact of the Christmas season. We celebrate Christmas here for 4 months in the Philippines. So
love it.
We love that.
It's Christmas trees and decorations and the music and all playing from September onwards, which can be a little bit surprising for people coming to visit. But I strongly endorse, and we do always recommend to the clients that come at least once a year so that the team can feel that you've got that engagement and the connection and the trust as well, that the leadership really do value having the team here on the ground.
And I guess you guys have clients from the US, from the UK, from Australia, and it's funny because they all end up, I guess, at the one company. But I know that when we first started looking at outsourcing and starting to see where we could start, we were actually considering doing it ourselves, and we were looking at offices, and me and my husband were looking at moving here, and we're looking at apartments. And as we started to look into it more, it just looked like it was going to be way too complicated, because you have to think of HR, you have to think of payroll, you have to think of a lot of different things. So what do you think people need to consider before they start going down that offshoring journey, and like us, maybe making the mistake of trying to do it on our own, because there's so many different factors of what you need to consider?
When it comes to the stages of reaching a certain level or maybe a size of a client, there can be definite benefits to maybe going into that particular route. But due to the many compliance reasons, the legal aspects, the Department of Labor here as well in the Philippines is very, very strong. It's a pro-employee workforce, which is a good thing as well. I mean, you want the government to be able to look after the team. But that does require as well an in-depth knowledge and a lot of loopholes as well. So I would say that having the opportunity to have a team such as us to oversee all of those areas, not just from the HR and the labor aspect, but to also have as the employer on record. We also do as well the learning and development team, so we can help as well on the soft skills area of the team and build up. There are many different benefits, I would say, to actually having and considering an outsourcing opportunity. Having that partner just makes a world of a difference, because you don't, like I said, you don't have to worry about going and setting up your own office and then having IT and HR and everything. It's just so much to consider. So having that partner makes a world of a difference, because it's just like they take care of everything.
It's another support system in place.
Exactly. And even with hiring as well, just having that team that can go hire and find that talent for you, and then you just do the interviewing process, makes a world of difference.
And you mentioned as well, how much you've grown, which is amazing over the last sort of how long you've been with us, about a year and a half, etc. It's whether you're a 1 headcount client or whether you're a 400 headcount client, you all have the same level of support and relationship as well. So for us, I mean, we value every client on the same level across the board as well. So I think that's really important as well. It doesn't matter the scale of which you grow to, you'll still receive the same level of support from our team and internal.
And I think that showed as well when we were moving offices. Is we were in an office, it was quite small, and we had really, you could tell that we were outgrowing that office, and there was a much bigger office that we really wanted. And even though we weren't at the stage where we could fill that office yet, we really felt the support from yourself, Laura, and Fitz to push for us to be able to get that, even though we couldn't promise maybe we're going to fill it in the next couple months, but in the future, we will fill it. But it was that support that you guys weren't favouring a bigger company over us for that office. It was really supporting us and our vision for our future as well, which makes, again, another big difference.
And in saying, like you said before, so a business could have just one staff member, or they could have 400. So no matter what the size, they can still work with
they
Emapta.
Still have a relationship manager like Fitz. They still have a dedicated people business partner for the HR aspect. You still have your dedicated recruiter when you start sourcing. So all of those aspects, the learning and development, the engagement opportunities, you all still have that under for every client, regardless of size.
And I think that's the biggest thing for businesses is this, because they don't know where to start. They're a bit scared of, what do they do? And I know we've spoken with a couple of businesses that have said, we've got a couple of team members starting over in the Philippines, and then we've sort of spoken to them about it, and we're like, we're heading over to visit our team. They're like, what do you mean you go visit your team? And we're like, we go spend time with our team. So their eyes have been open to the benefits of that, and I think we always encourage people when they say that. But we've had a lot of people that run their own business that have sort of gone, we don't know where to start, and we're struggling with our staff members here, or and wanting to look somewhere different. So we always recommend it, because we've seen the benefits of it for us, for our team, and we've seen how our team can come together on both sides.
And just with our business model as well, if someone's interested, even just to speak to one of our growth managers, there's no outgoing costs involved. So it's just a 30-minute to an hour call with one of our team, and we do the sourcing, we look into everything for you, we set up, and if it's not a right fit after the calibration and the recruitment sourcing, then we just part as friends. There's no initial outgoing costs in any of those sort of areas. So we really want to build long-term partnerships. We're not after a fast buck or just earning a quick turnaround in terms of cash. We want to make sure that any relationships that we're building and partnerships are there really for the long term.
Yeah. And I guess we really see the differences of practices and business compared to Australia and over here, and even in terms of, like you were saying, in terms of the payroll and the labour government and everything like that. What do you think are some of the differences of business practices compared to UK and here?
Here, between UK and here, here there is a very strong respect for hierarchy. It's very much a leadership, even though clients such as yourself, when you talk to the team and you've got the first name basis and all that, I'm sure you've seen and experienced the mom, can I help you, mom? And it's really ingrained into the culture.
Miss and sir.
I've been here 8 years with the team and I still talk to people every day. Mom, Laura's like, no, it's Laura. It's all good.
It makes me feel old when they call me Miss and I'm like, oh.
So that is one of the things that I would definitely say is in consideration as well. There's strong ties as well to the Western aspect in terms of the style. The level of education, I would say, is very high from a professional. I mean, you get university graduates coming in, everything from the utilities, the professional services. The differences as well. Sorry, I don't know why I'm stumped.
No, it's all right. It's hard. I feel like as well, there's a lot of differences in terms of the pay structure for Australia and here. Like when we were looking at it as well, we didn't know what the medical insurance was, and you know, even the maternity leave. We were saying the other day, we're like, what's the maternity leave here? Like, is it different to what we get? Like, it's different aspects that are really a culture shock to us as well. But even the miss and the ma'am and the sir, it's like a respect thing, and even though it makes us feel old, like I don't want to tell them to stop, because I'm like, I know it's a sign of like respect for them that they really.
But then we've started saying it back to them as a sign of respect to them as well. So we've, you know, it's a thing that we do now. So it's good, it's cute. So I think they that whole respect thing, they love sharing that respect, and I mean, we see it every time we come here, and you know, them buying us gifts and things, but then we love being able to give them things as well. And it's something, sometimes it's just simple as, hey, let's go down to Starbucks and get a coffee. And for them, they think it's the best thing in the world, and they're taking pictures and sharing it with all their friends. And I think for us, just sharing with them in their day-to-day life as well has been something that's been a bonus for us and made the connection a lot better.
And that would be another thing as well, actually, is the engagement aspect in the family. So when they are on board as well, it's having that level of connectivity. It's not just a job, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. You do become, and it's not to use the word cliche, part of the family, but it is. It's very much ingrained into their life and their day-to-day. That, it's very much a family aspect, the social aspect, the engagement aspect. There's summer outings that the teams do here. I worked for a few years in UK before I started traveling, and we had connections and we met up, say, occasionally on the weekend with friends, but here they go to beach trips together. They do karaoke bars together. They do
love the
all
karaoke.
of that. Absolutely. When you come to the Philippines, karaoke is definitely top of those lists, and it has to be experienced. And everyone can sing so well here.
I know. They're so good. And me and Rachel sing, and we're not good at it.
The first time we went, they got on the microphone, and then suddenly they were like professional singers, and I was like, I cannot get on this microphone because I am not a singer.
And we're like, can you sing? And they're like, no. And then they get on there and we're like, you can sing. And I guess on that, with engaging your staff and retaining staff, because that's the biggest thing you want over here, is to be able to retain your staff, because you train them, you spend all this time training them, and then for them to just leave a couple months later is like really deflating. So what do you think you've seen some of the other clients maybe do, or maybe us, because we're so good at it, that, you know, help them retain their stuff and build that engagement and, you know, have a good environment where you can come here and build a culture?
Focusing on career progression. So even though they're entering at a certain position, making sure that there are opportunities in the future where that they can grow within their role. Keeping an eye on salary market rates. So that's something that we also help you with. So once you're getting the local market rates, whether it's going up or whether it's, you know, changing at all in that direction, those are definitely something to consider. doing an annual performance review as well,
Yeah.
not a salary review, because that always creates a bit of a grey area as well when you're using that terminology, but an annual performance review as well.
Yeah.
Makes the team members feel that they're being heard and that their skills are being noticed, and they, even that if there is no salary adjustments and things like that, team members want to feel that they're heard and that they're, you know, that what they're giving to the clients and to their work, it matters. Everyone here, I would say, wants to make sure that they're feeling mattered and that they're a vital part as well of the company. And the engagement aspect as well, that's another one. Definitely.
And I think that's what we've really started to practice since we've been coming, is we want to show them that if they do give us a suggestion, or if they do bring up something that they're not happy with, that they can see we're actually actioning it. We're not just listening to them and going, yeah, no problem, all good, and then not doing anything about it. And I think everyone in our team has said to us, we really love that you listen to us and you actually take action and you don't just let it go. And like you said, it just makes them feel more part of the team and makes them feel heard and valued as a member.
But in terms of career progression, I think there's that misconception that offshoring just means data entry. And there's no leaders, but it's completely not that. It's exactly the same as what you're doing at home. It's just in a different setting, and there's career progression. You're going to have leaders, you're going to have team leaders, you're going to have people that start at a lower level and then build their skills and build up. And I just think there's that misconception that that's not what offshoring is. It's just the data entry side. So I think that's important for businesses in external countries to understand that that's all part of the process as well. And if you want to retain your staff, you need to put things in place where their staff can actually see they can progress up the line. And I know we've got team leaders in place, and we've when we come here, one of the important things we do is a lot of team training and I know they've spoken to us about they want to do some leadership training, and that's what we're here for, is to be able to help them progress.
Well, one of the programs that we have as well that we've been running for the last few years is a fresh graduates program, and it's actually called SEEDS. And in the long, it's Shaping Emerging Experts Through Developmental Staffing. And I'm always proud that I can remember that. This is a bit of a mouthful. That one out. But the very basics of that is it's a fresh graduate program. So for clients and themselves, it's little to no service fees, and you get the opportunity to really bring someone on board as a fresh graduate to mold them into their experiences within their team. And then that also incorporates as well the career progression. So a lot of them, over the 6 to 12 months that they've been with the clients, they sort of grow within their role and they take on new positions, and it does make a huge difference as well to have that opportunity.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned the career progression, because we've literally just restructured and done our career progression chart. But even just presenting that to the team leaders and showing them, all right, these are where our teams are now and this is where they can get to, it got them really excited that they can actually present that to their members and say, okay, this is what we've got you on this level. Maybe in the next few months we'll keep an eye on it, and maybe you'll progress to the senior level or a team leader or a scheduler or whatever it is. And it just got them a bit more excited, and it allows them to be able to sell it to their team members as well, because we want to empower them as leaders over here to be able to look after their team and motivate them to work. You know, like, it is work, but it can still be a good time as well. Fun. And I think it was a big culture shock for us as well, like we were saying about salaries and money and family. Is when we first came over, we had our retreat with our team, and we had some wellbeing sessions where we were talking about, you know, our lives and actually getting to know them on a personal level. And it was a big culture shock for us to think that all of them said that they would send their money back to their provinces and back to their families. So you really have an understanding that they need this and that they want to be there, and they want to they want to progress in their career to then be able to help their families more as well. So I think even just us listening to their personal stories and understanding them as people allows us more to know, okay, this is what they are, and this is who they are, and this is what their family is as well. So I think that was great.
Definitely recommend that to anyone.
Definitely recommend just listening to your team.
Exactly. Just being heard, I think, makes all the difference. You know, having those conversations, having the surveys running out maybe once a year to the team so that they know that their feedback, and maybe you don't implement every suggestion that comes through, but the very fact that you're listening and some of them do cross the line and sort of make the cut makes a huge difference, because the team see it and they feel it as well. And so,
And I guess we were talking about as well how close they do become as team members, and they like to go out to karaoke and to, you know, whatever, beach days and everything. How much do you think that affects the team when the client, you know, gives them those allowances to go do those activities and, you know, those little bits and pieces where they can send a cake for their birthday, or they can, you know, give them an allowance to go to dinner or whatever it is? Yeah. How do you think that affects the team?
In a huge way.
Yeah.
When I compare the clients that do those sort of activities, that a birthday cake, a Starbucks coffee for doing, you know, great project work, those clients that really do focus on their engagement and those particular aspects, I see a huge difference when it comes to attrition, team morale, engagement across the board.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in their personal, on a much more personal level for the team member. So the clients that do that extra step and next level really do see that their team members stay with them for the long term.
Yeah.
It's not just a job. It's not just a Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
They're there and they're passionate about the job and the role and the company as you guys are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's something that I'd highly endorse for every client to do.
Yeah.
And maybe business needs and, you know, there's different expectations as well of what the clients would need. And it doesn't always work for every client depending on what they're looking for as well within the outsourcing team. But if the opportunity arises, it's something that I highly endorse across all levels.
We've seen a huge change in our staff since we have been doing those outings and team bonding sessions or whatever it was. And I feel like there can be that, you know, I mean, we are together every day at work, 9 till 5 or 6 till 3 for our team here. And they spend a lot of time together at work, and it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes there is, you know, some people that don't get along with us, others or whatever it is. But every time we've had a team building session or we've gone out together, it's like they're all back together and they're all happy again and it's all good. And it's like, great, let's just do these all the time now.
And one of those things as well, food here in the Philippines, as I'm sure you've noticed, is so important. I mean, I think someone said about 8 like individual meals a day and the meriendas. And so they wake up and it's rice and the food and then there's a snack. So doing those engagement aspects of just the cake. I've seen team members posting pictures of, look what my client gave me today. You know, I've got a birthday cake or an anniversary donuts, or I've got a cup of coffee because I did X amount. Or even as basic as printing a certificate of recognition to team members. I mean, it's leaps and bounds. The clients that do this, the retention, it's just huge. I mean, across the board.
Well, actually, speaking of certificates, we didn't know that was really a thing. We were like, if we knew that was a thing, we would do it all the time. But we only found out about it at the end of last year. One of our team leaders, she did certificates for her team members, and it was like, you know, just simple ones like improved or, you know, whatever it was. But they were all so excited about it, posting it online, holding it up, and I was like, we just need to start making some certificates.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it just shows that appreciation again, and it encourages them that they're doing good and they're doing better and they have improved. And even the reviews, like the yearly reviews and the monthly reviews, it's just you showing that you want to develop them as well, and you can see, you know, here are your strengths, here are your weaknesses, and let's build on them together. So the certificates is a good one. I think it's so easy to do. It's just make a certificate and here you go. It's like not.
I mean, it's not always about money, and that's some of the concerns as well. You know, having these additional costs of the activities and the, you know, the breaks and the things away. Just a simple recognition and certificate. I mean, it's nothing in terms of a cost value, but to the team member, it means so much more.
And sometimes it's just a message saying, "Hey, like, how are things? How was your weekend? How's your family?" And that's something big for them. So sometimes, and
I think even like for us, keeping them involved in our milestone wins and everything like that as well. Like we've just hit our 300,000th job, but that will be something where it's like, team, we've hit our 300,000th job. Thank you so much for everyone, because everyone's involved and they get really happy and appreciative of that. So just very small things. Like you said, it doesn't have to always be about money and buying this or buying that. It's just showing that you're turning up and you're showing up for them. It's good.
And I think obviously, you know, we enjoy looking at businesses and how they're growing because, you know, we want to grow our business. And Emapta's a business. And, you know, seeing how you guys have grown and seeing, you know, the the floor or the office we're in now, you guys, it's a renovated one and it's an amazing facility. So I think that's also something that other businesses should know. Like, you guys it's not just getting an old office and putting people in it. You guys are putting the effort, the time, the renovations to actually build a space where people feel like amazed to come to work. And like, these spaces are amazing. It's like, these are better than some of the ones we've got at, like, offices we've got at home. So I'm impressed. And even, you know, you've got the gym that our team can use as well, which is really important. I know we did Zumba. We did Zumba. Fantastic. But just those little things shows that you're supporting your staff, but our staff. So it's that connection, I think, is really important as well.
And we have dedicated teams now as well. So when it comes to identifying that we need to grow in certain areas or certain office spaces, the team will come on board. And we're currently in this particular building that we're sitting now, we're renovating 2.5 floors here. By June we'll have expanded. The building itself is called P&B, but I'm pretty sure it should be called Emapta very soon, because we have got most, if not all, of the video. Exactly. And just seeing the progression of the offices. So when you visit maybe some of our older ones, none of our offices are the standard sort of BPO imagine that people think they are. But when you see the progression and the growth and the interiors of how they've moved and they've stepped forward, and the whole setup and the way we design it is it's your team, your way. So if whether you want to have 1, 10, 20 or 400, we build the offices and the spaces around what your business needs are. So you may not hit that 400, you know, in the first 6 months. But if that is your end goal, we can gradually move and progress your team so that you have those spaces and you can fit that growth in as well within the different areas. And we make sure as well that we're considering your team on where they're based, so that as you're growing, we're not bouncing them around, because there's over 7,000 islands in the Philippines. We're making sure that we're keeping them in the national capital region and within the areas that they live, so that it's a consideration of the commuting time as well. They are office based.
Because travel is such a big thing, getting to work here. Like, I know before we came, you know, some of our staff would say, oh yeah, we travel 2 hours to get to work or 3 hours to get to work. And we're like, gosh, you must live so far away. But really, it's the traffic plus the distance. It really was like, okay, wow, it's very you're traveling 2 hours to get to work. We really need to stay here so you don't have to travel another 2 hours to get to work. And that's what we were considering when we were moving office is another location going to work for our team members. And if it wasn't going to work, then we wouldn't be considering it.
We really don't. Here in the Philippines, I mean, 20 years down the line now as well, as much as my British accent is still very strong, we don't judge distance from A to B in terms of distance. We know that there's distances involved, but for us, it kind of means almost nothing. Because as an example for myself, when I come into Makati from where I live, it's maybe a 10-15 minute drive on a Sunday, little to no traffic and very high speed taxis because they're very quick. A lot of the signs here as well in the roads can be a little bit of suggestive as well, rather than strictly followed. But when you come to the peak times of the payroll weekends and the Christmas period as well, my 20-minute journey can turn into sort of 3 hours, 4 hours as well. So those are some of the factors that we take into consideration as well when we're sort of building teams and advising clients such as yourself as to where to be based as well. So that your team members, although we all know that we need to commute into the office, it's not going to be very far in the south or very far in the north. We can actually centralize it then for most of your team.
I think we were looking at before, because we're going to dinner tonight with our team, and we looked on Google Maps and it was like, oh, it's only 5 Ks away. And then Fitz was like, it'll take us probably an hour drive to get there. And we were like, oh, okay.
Because the amount of times they told us, I still couldn't fathom the fact that it would take that long. And then now that we've been here and we've traveled places, I'm like, no, I understand.
I get it.
Sometimes I'm like, we should just get out and walk, because it's better off.
And now that lets us understand as well, when they do say, oh, I'm running late for work, the traffic's bad. It's not just like in Australia where we're like, oh, the traffic's bad today, we're going to be extra 5 minutes. And then sometimes there are delays, so we understand that now. But speaking of, Fitz, he's our customer experience manager, and you guys have that for each of your clients. And for me, I feel like that's a game changer for us, because we do have that one point of contact that we can go to. You're never not sure of, who can I go to for this or who can I go to for that. How do you think that impacts your clients, and why do you think that's so important to have that one customer experience manager for everyone?
It's amazing how they're your eyes and ears on the ground.
Yeah.
So whether it's something to do with the weather, the traffic, or whether it's the feeling of the team in the office. So we don't have with the relationship manager, they don't sit in your office, as you know, and the day-to-day business, but they are sitting and they're coming to visit the office. They're regularly making touch points with your team. They're making sure that if there are any concerns on a personal level as well that's come up, a lot of the teams, you guys have already built up a great and strong relationship with your team, but maybe when they're starting with the new clients as well, they don't have that level of rapport, and there can be a little bit of a cultural difference as well as you're building up the relationship. So having that relationship manager in place, it knocks down those barriers, at least for the first few months as well, so that any concerns that do come up, if the team member is having problems at home, or they're unwell at this time and they feel that they don't have that communication level to talk to the client about it, that's where the operational and the CXM managers really do sort of step up in those areas as well for you.
And although Fitz isn't hired by us and not employed by us, he still feels very much part of our team, and we love to involve him in coming out to our outings and everything, because he is, like you said, our eyes and ears here, and he does take care of our team when we're not here. And I feel like that puts our mind at ease a little bit, that there is someone here that they can go to if they ever feel like they need to talk to someone as well.
It's good. He does feel part of our team.
He does.
He does.
He's been to our retreats and karaoke.
Yeah.
And it's good.
I mean, it's good to include him as well, because then the team members know that he's, the customer experience manager, but they can always go to him as well. So it's not like he's directly hired by us, but they still feel as an external, they can go to him.
Exactly. That's one thing as well. As much as they are your dedicated staffing and team, they are obviously under the Emapta umbrella as well in terms of employees. And we highly endorse the relationship that you've actually fostered as well with Fitz, the relationship manager, because it's important for the team members to see that there's a very strong partnership between us. It's not Emapta on one side and then client on the other, and which way am I going to sit and fall, because obviously I want career growth and salary, but I'm hired here. So with you fostering that kind of relationship and the team members seeing it as well, and the activities and the engagement they do, it goes a very long way as well to building up and the strength of the team.
And I think that was probably one of the differences we found with Emapta, is that it wasn't the outsourcing company and then us. It was kind of like we were together. We were a partner. We weren't separate, and they worked for them, but then they subcontracted to us, for example. Like it doesn't feel like we're subcontracting our team. It's they're part of our team, but they're also part of Emapta, which is what I think was the biggest differentiating factor for us when we were looking at offshoring partners as well.
Very much from day one, the moment of onboarding, as you know, then the team members, once they've been hired, recruited, signed the contracts, and they're onboarded and sort of handed over to you guys, everything from that first day is really with you from the get-go. All of the KPIs, all of the tasks, everything else. So the team member really does get the best of both worlds. They get to work with an international client such as yourselves. They get the career opportunities, the salary market rates, which are very competitive then, because we work closely with you guys then on the higher level to make sure that we're sort of meeting that industry standard. So I would say that the team members get the best of both worlds in that scenario.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess aside from the misconception of being one of 5,000 in one room, what do you think, or do you think there are any other misconceptions that people have about offshoring, whether it be to the Philippines or to any other country, that people have?
English proficiency. So as you can hear, I'm very much British, but my grammar may not always be the best in the written word. But my partner, who is Filipino, born and raised, lived here, his grammar and level of English is just next level in comparison to mine. I may have better negotiation skills on that level, but when it comes to the actual grammatical part, it really does, I would say, shine within that area. I've had levels of conversations. I personally don't use as many fillers, or at least I don't think I use as many fillers when I'm talking. And I've interviewed and seen members across all levels, even fresh graduates on the basic level coming out of university. The level of English proficiency is so high. And with the structure that we've got in place as well, we can actually do testing as well for the clients. So if they are concerned about that one, they can have those levels of tests done while they're doing the recruitment aspect to make sure that they're sort of ticking those boxes as well for the team.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I know when we were trying to convince some of our other team about offshoring. It's like, okay, that's fine, we can offshore, but we'll still contact the customers and we'll still book them in and everything. And I'm like, no. Like, they're just as good as English as we are. We'll be getting them to call the customers. And some of our team, like you said, speak amazing English. Like, you would not be able to pick them at all. And it's funny, like we were saying about the Western influence and like how they have that kind of like that Americanized language as well. It just, they can talk just as good as us and write just as well as us.
And because that's some people we've spoken to have said, oh, well, they're just doing people that they've already hired are going to just do that data entry. They're not on the phones. And we're like, well, we've got a whole entire bookings team that spends their time on the phone. So it's proven that they're amazing. So.
And university graduates, all within their fields. I mean, if you look at the basic CVs of the candidates that are coming through, these are high-level professional team members that, really do step up and next level. That's another aspect as well, not just sort of the English proficiency, but also the level of education and the actual professionalism of the team members. I couldn't say what I've heard about when I go talking to maybe the UK or the other clients on a global scale, and when they first started dipping their toes really into the outsourcing opportunities, it varies next level when they open their eyes and when they do have the opportunity as well to come here to the Philippines and really feel and experience it, and having the leaders come here and seeing the teams that we've got based here as well. It opens their eyes up to the opportunities as well. And it's not about taking jobs away from anyone. That's some of the stuff that I've heard as well. Oh, we're going to take jobs from people in our home country. It's not about that. There's so many other benefits for having the outsourcing team. It allows small businesses to grow to their full potential, to expand to have that whole reach that they want to have as well.
Yeah, and I think we wouldn't have been able to grow to where we are now without our team here at all. Like, there is no way we would have been able to do it. So for us, they've enabled us to be able to grow and be in different states in Australia and expand our business. So that's one of the benefits for us, is definitely growth.
Yeah, and they're all along for our journey. And and like you said, encouraging people to come here to actually see for themselves, so that it does give them that peace of mind. Like, I know we thought it was going to be way different, and we've brought two of our other team members here, and she's our administration manager. She's meeting the team for the first time, and when she got here, she's like, this is not what I expected it to be at all. She was like, I was not thinking this. I thought we were going to be like on the outskirts, like with houses everywhere. And I'm like, no.
And the roosters outside and things like that.
It is. So it's just like opening their eyes to see. And then now they have an understanding of where they work, the environment, what it is. And it just gives that like added peace of mind back at home that they're being taken care of as well. So it's been a good episode.
It has actually.
We've learned a lot. I feel like we've covered a lot. I feel like that kind of puts people's mind at ease with offshoring. I know, like we said, there's a lot of misconceptions, and honestly, we could be here for hours talking about them. We can just talk about it for days, but I feel like that covers the majority of it. And like, I think what we were saying is the biggest thing is keeping that engagement and retaining your staff, and I think that career progression plan is just as important as taking them out for lunch and coffee. So it's been good having you, Laura. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
And I'm sure we'll see you next time we come to the Philippines.
We'll start planning our next trip already.
Or we might have to send other people.
Well, we do have other team members that are keen to come, so you'll be visiting some new ones soon.
You'll be having some new visits.
It's always wonderful to have you ladies with us. I look forward to the next visit.
And thank you so much for supporting us, obviously, with the new office and everything. And I think our team's really happy there. So it's good.
Fantastic. They are indeed, yes. And we look forward to great things. And we've heard such great things about your team as well. And I know that you're here and they're talking, you've got that engagement working on with your team as well. But from Fitz and my perspective as well, they are a very happy team. They are so happy with the direction and the support that they're getting from you guys. So thank you to you as well.
And it's good to hear that from an outer source as well. We get that from our team, but then it's like, are they just saying that because we're here? But hearing it from an external source really
it's good.
hits home. So it's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
How long did we go for?
48.